if you have $5 billion, you shouldn't be mean to nobody. And here's the other honest to God truth. I've never heard of Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or any of those being like directly mean to nobody. Elon Musk is the only person I've seen be mean. He's the only billionaire I've seen be mean to somebody in public, like publicly. But usually it's like what you that should be a rule. If you're worth $1 billion, any U.S. citizen should be able to smack it out you if you disrespectful at all. Welcome back, BS with Brian Simpson, episode 75. Thanks everybody for subscribing to this shit. The subscribers are going up every week. I like that. I think we're gonna hit 5,000 in the next month, which would be great. We'll celebrate with nothing. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want advice from the advice champ, email me at BSwithBrianSimpson@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 323-451-1980. And also don't forget, if you want to see me live, you can go to BrianSimpsonComedy.com, or you can go to my socials, which is BS Comedian on everything, and click on the link tree. And you can see me every Tuesday night hosting Bottom of the Barrel at the Comedy Mothership in Austin, Texas. Okay. I don't know. I had an elephant in the room in my brain as I was walking in here. And I know you brought up the Trump thing, but I just feel like, see, the reason that's not interesting to me is because I think it's stupid. Like it's a show thing. It's like, this motherfucker's not going to prison. Because everybody I know that like with like hating Trump is their hobby. It's like, I don't know. They get off on, every time the number goes up, they want to tell me he's been at 60 billion charges. It's like, yeah. And that they're doing that so that you are satisfied with them not doing anything else. That's right. What it looked like to me. Yeah, this motherfucker's not going to prison. When has a billionaire, again, no one that disagrees with me has answered this question. When has a billionaire gone to prison for any reason other than fucking with other rich people's money? It's not gonna happen, bro. Maybe he'll get indicted. Maybe he'll get convicted. And then he'll get pardoned by the next president. Or he might get pardoned by Joe Biden.
I was going to say, regardless of whether it's a Democrat or Republican, I would not be
surprised
if he gets
pardoned. He might get pardoned by Joe Biden. And that wouldn't shock me at all. And some of you motherfuckers would be heartbroken. No, Joe, not you too. Like, you can't look back at all the history of these motherfuckers.
Well, but one thing though is the president can't pardon you for a state crime, and that's like why. But I guess the governor of Georgia could pardon him, I guess.
Yeah, a whole lot of people, like, this is, y'all don't understand. All these motherfuckers are in cahoots. The politics is just a public thing, but they not enemies for real. It's just a game that they went, how you see two UFC fighters beat the living fucking shit out of each other, like they throwing elbows that could crush the other one's skull, and then when the fight's over, they fucking hug.
Yeah.
That's what the politics is. They come out in front of the cameras and they say all this and that and they make all these remarks. Sometimes they go overboard promoting the fight. They bring mamas into it. They bring children into it. But when the fight's over, they hug and kiss. Because at the end of the day, what's good for one of them is good for all of them. That's how they all act. So I don't even pay attention to the Trump trials. I have no idea if I feel like the last week Google has finally gotten that I don't give a fuck. They stopped showing it. They stopped recommending it to me. Because I don't know about everybody else, but I wake up and, iPhone users, I don't know if y'all had the same thing, but if I swipe right on my home screen, it's like a news feed over there on the,
Yeah,
like to the left.
News.
Right. And so that's where I start my day. Most days. And you can tailor that by saying, don't show me this, I don't like that. And theoretically, over time, it's supposed to know you or whatever. So I start my day on the feed, and now they finally stopped showing me politics. Thank God. Unless I think they know me, they got me down pat. Unless somebody died, I don't want to hear about it. Tell me a politician died so I can celebrate. Today's my birthday. And
happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday.
But I'm not celebrating my birthday. But if a politician died today, I would throw a party. I would buy myself a piece of cake. You understand? So that's that. In tech news, so some of you may not know, but I am, as I've I hate to label myself this, but I am the classic pay pig. Blizzard's got me. They got me with the Diablo. It's running out of steam. I mean, they running out of time. They got a year to fix Starfield's about to come out, which isn't really the same type of game, so maybe that's not a direct competition. But Path of Exile 2 is coming for that ass. I don't know what type of shit they own, but Path of Exile 2 is coming for that ass. So get it together, Diablo. It's mind-blowing to me that they didn't bring in someone from the Path team, like a former Path of Exile, or just play the game and take some of the best ideas. They didn't borrow any of the best ideas. Anyway, I'm on it right now, this device, my Samsung tablet, the new S9 Tab Ultra, whatever. And for all intents and purposes, it's the same as last year, the Tab S8 Ultra, but it's got, faster memory, it's got a SD card slot, which I like. It's got a better screen. But here's my fucking problem. This tablet costs, I think, $1,200 on its own. Obviously, if you trade, I'm not paying that much for it because I trade in everything. So, at the end of the day, it ended up coming up to like $400 or something like that. But here's my problem with this. Everything about this tablet is better or the same, except the fingerprint sensor. It's worse. And I haven't heard any tech reviewers talk about this, because right now, I put it like this. I have 3 tablets right now, right? Because I ordered this one. I ordered the S9. I got it early. I set it all up. And then part of the setup process is the fingerprint sensor. And this motherfucker kept being like it's not recognized. I literally put in the same finger the maximum times to try to get the accuracy. And it's so inconsistent. It's driving me fucking crazy. And I got it the day before I left town. I went to LA. And I tried everything to use it better. I cleaned it. I restarted the whole fucking thing. I did it again. And then I just came to the conclusion, you know what? I must have just got a bad one. Like, there's something wrong with this fingerprint sensor. And so I set up the return and bought a new one. And by the time I got home, the new one was there. And I went to go set it up. Guess what? Same fucking thing. So this is just an issue with whatever these fingerprint sensors they're using this year. And the thing is, and this is the problem with Samsung, is their tech is amazing, but their quality control is trash and their customer service is hit or miss. Because when it comes to something like this, because it's not in any of the forums, I haven't seen anybody talk about it on Reddit. Like, when it comes to a problem like this, what's going to happen is you're going to call their customer service, and you're going to get somebody that's just reading from a prompt. And you know what happens when they do that. They're going to talk to you as though you've never seen a tablet before and never set up a fingerprint before. And they're going to just walk you through how to set up a fingerprint, which I already know. And they're going to walk you through all the troubleshooting things, which I've already done. It's broken, or maybe it's purposefully this way. What's so funny though is I found that when I cover, this is crazy, because I don't have the facial recognition set up. When I cover up the camera, the fingerprint sensor works.
Whoa,
so
what?
I know, this is crazy. When I cover the camera, the fingerprint sensor is more accurate. And I have no idea why the fuck that is. I don't know if it's a software thing or whatever. And this is 2 back-to-back. And I'm tempted to just order a third one and really, really nail it down, but it's like I wouldn't even know where to report this or what they're doing to fix it, because I don't see anyone else complaining about it. And then I pick up my Tab S8 because I still have it. I haven't returned. I haven't exchanged it yet, and it works just perfectly. So I like all of the minor improvements on this one so much that I'm conflicted. I don't know if I'm just gonna fucking return this and just keep the S8 because it's because I know myself, you know, the fingerprint thing's gonna drive me crazy because it's something that you interact with every single time you turn on the tablet, and it's frustrating as fuck. And I'm talking about even during the setup process, it's frustrating. You know, sometimes it'll miss your finger, like you're doing it exactly as it's telling you to do, and it'll just be like, sorry. And if it gets it wrong twice, it'll just start over and be like, you know, and you run the diagnostic, it says it's fine. So I don't know what the fuck to do. This is probably gonna be the last time you see it. Look at the thing, ain't it a beaut? It's probably be the last time you see it, because I'm real close to sending this shit back. And that's what it is to being a Samsung fan. You just gotta suffer in silence sometimes because they will literally put something out that they know has a problem, and they'll just won't talk about it. you know, and if it's something they see as a minor thing, you know, and you know, think about what kind of person you would have to be at Samsung to be like, oh, the way you unlock your device, you know, the thing you have to do every single time you touch it, that's flawed, but that's acceptable to them. You know, the customer service person was basically like, well,
anyway.
The fingerprint unlock?
Yeah, I don't do the face or the fingerprint unlock.
Well, yeah, that's easy to do on your phone, but when you're talking about your tablet, it's like it's just a pain in the ass to have to put in a code on the tablet because the screen is so fucking huge. You know?
Yeah, fair.
And so sure, I would do that, but it bothers me. This is an over $1,000 device.
Right.
The basics should fucking work. You know, and so I have no idea what they plan on doing about it, and here's the other thing. Again, every other tech reviewer, every other YouTuber that I've seen review this has not mentioned it at all. And I know like some of them aren't allowed to because they're sponsored by Samsung or whatever, but I don't see anyone else saying it at all. So
White?
You know, no. I mean, actually, you know what's so funny? That's funny you say that because most of the tech reviewers I watch are not white.
Interesting.
Obviously MKBHD, but he kind of sticks to the mainstream stuff. He didn't review this tablet. But I go to Flossie Carter first. That's my first go-to when it comes to tablets and phones and stuff like that. Cause he does in-depth, thorough shit, you know. And I know that he buys every device himself, so he's not sponsored. So he ain't bullshitting, you know. But yeah, I go to quite a few. I watch quite a few.
The reason why I ask is because the fact that the fingerprint works worse when the camera is on is very bizarre, and a lot of stuff has issues with black skin. Right.
Yeah, not when, but the camera shouldn't even have anything to do with it.
No, right? I know. I have no idea. I don't know what the infrastructure is for the facial recognition and the.
I think it's a software issue. I think it's set up. The camera is interrupting something, but here's the other thing too: is the Samsung uses the ultrasonic fingerprint sensors when I think most other people use optical ones. So other people, the other fingerprint sensors are literally taking a picture of your thumb. And when you go to scan it, it's matching up that picture. This is using sound waves to map out your thumb. And this is, what's crazy is like it works perfectly on the last tablet. Like no issues. I can't even remember the last time that it missed. That like I went to go open it and it didn't work. So I had to set up face recognition, which I don't like. I don't know why it bothers the fuck out of me, but something about it just bothers me. I don't want that. I don't want it to turn on just because it's looking at my face. I don't. It's something that it feels
less intentional.
Right. It's like, look, I have like my home is set up this way. When I go home, it's set up so that when I get basically when I get close enough to my house, it preps or whatever. Like it gets ready to unlock. And once my phone connect to my Wi-Fi, it'll unlock the door. And I'm fine with that. but it doesn't open the door. You know what I mean? And so it's like if that would be too much for me. And this, and you can set this up so that when it recognizes your face, you still have to like swipe up on the screen to open it. But I don't like that either. So I don't know. I want the ability to pull out my key and put it. I don't like this. And so, man, but it's great in every other way. The biggest upgrade is I feel like it charges faster. That might just be in my head, but the fucking speakers are incredible. So like I take this on the road with me, and I download movies on the road because hotel Wi-Fi is trash. Almost every hotel, even the nicest ones, the Wi-Fi is garbage. And so I download movies to watch on the plane and stuff like that. So when I'm in my hotel room, I don't want to have to sit around with my headphones on. And the good speakers, you know, because I feel like a tablet being this close to me is just as good as me having a big screen TV over there, you know. Mm-hmm. And with the good speakers, oh, it's awesome. And these speakers on this are just leaps and bounds above whatever last year was.
What model is this?
This is the Tab S9 Ultra. And so that's where I'm at in my little tech journey. And I also have the Galaxy Watch, the Watch 6 Classic on the way. I don't have it yet. Actually, I don't know how the fuck some of these reviewers get them early. But it's so crazy because Samsung is so good in all these other ways. Like, here's the other thing. Whenever I order something from Samsung, I usually get it early. Almost every time. Like if it's supposed to get, if they tell me it's coming on the 15th, it usually comes on the 13th or the 14th. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how they, you know, and if I have to return something, flawless. But if you have to actually like interact with the company, talk to somebody, it's unbelievable. And they don't do repairs. So their attitude about this is, well, you can just send it back and buy a new one. That's what they rather you do that than have to. And here's what really pissed me off. And this is where Apple, I put it like this, Rob. I was so frustrated, I almost switched everything to Apple this weekend.
Oh, wow.
I swear to God, I almost went in, and think about how much money that is to waste, to get rid of my phone, my watch, and my tablet and switch them all to Apple. That would have cost me probably like $5,000. Something stupid.
Yeah.
But I was that frustrated with it because I'm in LA with this new tablet that ain't working. I walk into the Samsung store because there's only a couple in America, but this is like the Samsung store. It's their corporate store. I walk into the Samsung store with my broken tablet, and you know what they tell me? We don't have anything to do with the website. Oh, you bought this on the website? We don't have nothing to do with that. So like you can't, like, you know how when you go in the Apple store, your Apple account is part of the whole thing. If you buy, I could buy an iPhone in Dubai and walk into an Apple store in New York, and they like, oh yeah, pull it up right here. We see you purchase it over there, boo boo boo, and they'll fix it or exchange it or whatever. Samsung doesn't do that. Only Apple and Microsoft do that. The Samsung store is just a store that sells Samsung stuff, but they are not connected to your Samsung account at all. So they don't give a fuck what you bought online. You can't bring anything in there that you brought online. It's not connected at all. In fact, you have to set up a separate account for the store. It's not a fluid experience. And I was just so frustrated by that like I couldn't walk into the store and just exchange it for a new one. You know, they would just like be with. So it's that. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you ever actually have to interact with the company, you're gonna have a hard time. But as long as you have a simple problem that an idiot could foresee, Samsung's great. You know, but if you have a problem that they didn't guess you might have, or you have something where you might have to go into the store, like it's just not gonna happen. And I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about switching. This pissed me off that bad.
You know how at Apple they have different levels for like the Genius Bar or whatever, where it's like you talk to the first. So they have like the first level, which is just the person who's been there for 2 weeks or whatever, and then they escalate it to the next level. They should have that for customers so that if you know what you're talking about, you can automatically skip the first part where they ask you like, well, have Have you logged out and logged back into your security settings?
Right.
Have you power cycled the phone? All
right.
that, like all the like the first 2 hours where it's like, I've done all that. I went on Reddit. I went on GitHub. I tried to find that
That's
stuff
a good
out.
suggestion for Apple. You're right. And actually, a lot of customer service people need to do this, where it's like, they should keep a record of how many times, they should give you a little score after you leave the store of, okay, he kind of already did all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's frustrating, because instead of treating everyone like they're stupid, because that's the Apple way as well. They treat everybody like you're fucking 5 years old. But the difference is, Samsung is more like, it doesn't matter if you're stupid, like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Buy it, keep it, whatever. Send it back then. That's their attitude. Send it back. You're like, yeah, but I want it. Okay, then buy a new one. Yeah, but wouldn't it be easier if I just walk into the store and get a new one? No. Send this one back. Buy a new one. By the way, you got 7 days. If we don't get it back, then we charge you full price for both of them. You're like, okay. That's why I didn't. So I told you a few weeks ago I bought that monitor from Samsung, right? And they offered white glove service, which means they'll come in your house and they'll take it out of the box and put it somewhere. They won't plug it in, but they'll set it where you want it set, and they'll leave with all the materials, all the trash. They'll take all of that with them. So you just set it with your product. And that's awesome. But you can't do that with Samsung, because you might have to return that bitch. And I'm talking about a big ass 49-inch monitor. It's like, it's not no regular box you can put that in. So if they take the box, you can't send it back. And you got to send it back. They're not coming to get it. Ain't no white glove return. It's just a white glove drop off. So, and then I didn't think we were going to start this off with Tech Talk, but that's what's frustrating me today or this week. Huge shout out to this episode's sponsor, Sheath Underwear. Chafing seriously sucks. Make it a thing of the past with Sheath. Sheath Underwear features 2 pouches, one for your dick and one for your balls. It keeps stuff separated so you can go for a jog, play sports, or just sit at your desk without your dong stuck to your leg for once. They have tons of cool colors and patterns to fit your personal style while making sure you feel comfortable and secure. I wear Sheath Underwear myself. I like not having my balls sticking to my legs. I'm still getting on them to get like an extra bigger dick pouch. But yeah, I switched all my underwear over to Sheath, and I really can't wear them no other way. Whether you're in the trunks, briefs, or boxer briefs, Sheath has you covered. Or maybe you're looking to keep away boob sweat. Awesome. Sheath has super comfortable sports bralettes just for you. Go to sheathunderwear.com and get the most comfortable underwear you'll ever wear. Use code BS to get 20% off your first order. Plus, Sheath Underwear's 100% money-back guarantee. That's sheathunderwear.com, promo code BS for 20% off your order. Get Sheath Underwear. Support the show. Support your balls. By the way, we're filming our special next weekend. Not this weekend coming, but next weekend at the Comedy Mothership. I'm pretty sure all the shows are sold out, though, so there's no point in talking about it. But maybe you can snag a few. Maybe if you know me, I think it might be like, it might be still some leftover VIP seats. I'm not sure. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even though we're not filming on Sunday. So we're filming Friday and Saturday. So, there may be tickets. I really don't know if there's tickets left. Because people ask me that all the time. How do I get tickets? I'm like, I don't know. I ain't never bought tickets. I can't remember the last time I bought tickets to a comedy show. I don't know how to buy them. And it's different. The shit's different for every club. And for this one, like I've never bought a ticket to the Mothership. I don't know. Honestly. Let's look. Let's check it out. Hold on.
It's just through the website.
Yeah. Ooh, get tickets. Well, that's very simple. Right when you get there, it's right there. Get tickets. Fat Man. Okay. Look at that. Rogan and Friends, bottom of the barrel tonight. Solid from the homies. And the Dice Man cometh. That's the 18th and the 19th. And there we go. Sold out. Sold out, sold out, sold out, and sold out. Sorry, guys. I'm popular. Oh, damn. Jeff Ross is all sold out.
These AI-generated posters are rough.
They're not AI-generated. I mean, I that's not true. I think this person does use AI a little, or he uses it sometimes, but most of it is him.
It's AI-generated assets that are then composited in Photoshop.
Oh, I don't know.
I know exactly how this motherfucker does it.
You don't like him?
I don't like the use of AI in general right now.
Okay, so this is a moral stance you take in here.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. This doesn't fucking matter. Like, who gives a shit about this?
Comedy show flyers? I mean, I don't think... I think every comedy show... all the comedy show flyers before AI were just Photoshop people... there was a big trend of, like, doing movie posters and stuff. People
this doesn't matter.
Putting your head on stuff.
In general, I'm not a fan of people using AI-generated art assets for...
Yo, was it you telling me about the dude that let an AI write his vows? Somebody was just telling me about this.
We did talk about that at one point. Yeah,
like an AI wrote this man's vows to his woman. And I think the big mistake this man made is he told somebody, because then she found out and she was upset. I'm like, why would you do that and tell somebody? Yeah, man.
Some people just fucking There is a subset of people who are so horny for this AI stuff that they will advertise that, like, oh, I did this with AI.
Oh, you mean the people that lack talent? Yeah, they are
losers. I'm talking about losers.
Yeah, because here's the thing. There's a difference between the people that see AI as a tool and people that see AI as the solution to them not having any talent. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, now I can just coach my football team through AI. Please believe that's coming. Some coach is going to use AI to use Chat GPT to call their plays. Some people are just, because it's the same kind of people that. Because I'm the type of person that, like, even like back, because when I was coming up, guys, there was a thing called a game genie, and it allowed you to cheat at the game. Like, you could basically hack into the game, and you had to get the codes, and it would unlock things. And I was always one of those people that was like, the game genie is for fun after you beat the game. But I want to earn beating the game. And there's a lot of games that got left unbeaten. But I wanted to beat them without cheating. And then you can go in there and fuck around and move things and mod things. But there's some people that right away, they go buy the guides and they go to the website. It's like people even do this in Diablo 4. I don't like playing with people like this, where they go to some website and go, this is the best build. And so this is how you have to play. And it's like, no, you don't. You can play how you want. Fuck a meta. What does that mean? It just means, you took the top streamer's opinion and you feel like you got to play just like that or you can't play. It's like, or you can figure it out yourself. What do you think they did?
I have one general defense. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's your defense?
Of the game genie, like, for instance, I can understand using a game genie to practice, like, remember, like, Nintendo hard games, right? Like Battletoads or something like that, where I can imagine using the game genie to do the stage select and, like, practicing the more difficult levels towards the end without having to play through the easy first 3, 4, 5 levels, right, every single time, practicing those, and then eventually you're like, okay, now I know how to beat those levels, because people do that all the time for, like, speed runs and stuff, where they use, like, save states on emulators so they can practice certain portions of the speed run without having to go through the entire beginning part. But that's using it as a tool, not as I beat the game button.
No, that sounds like a you thing. The most people bought this because they wanted to cheat. It's the same type of and maybe game genie is not a good example.
No, I think game genie is a great example.
Here's a better example. The same type, like I told you, I play a lot of Overwatch. I wasn't really into Call of Duty, the modern ones, but people cheat at those. They have aim bots. right? That's really the big cheat. Is that they have aimbots, they have wall hacks where they can see you through walls and stuff like that. And they climb the ladder. There's even been people they caught cheating at like Counter-Strike. These are all first-person shooters. They caught them cheating in tournaments and all, or even in the pro circuit. They caught them cheating. And it's like, now, it's one thing if it's money on the line. I don't agree. I don't agree with you cheating, but I understand, But it's people that they're playing on the ladder in competitive play, just on the game. They're not winning anything, they're not doing anything, but they want to be able to look at the rankings and see that they're in the top whatever. And they know they didn't earn it. You understand what I'm saying? Like the type of person that gets satisfaction from the appearance of being talented. And that's just a different species of human. I'm just not built like that.
That's most people.
Yeah, I'm just not built like that. Because I wanna beat you. I don't wanna cheat you. I wanna beat you with my cleverness. I wanna beat you with my tactics. I wanna beat you with my mind and my skills. I don't wanna just look like I beat you. You know what I mean? And maybe I would have to talk to one of these people to really dive into their mind, because here's the thing, most people would outwardly say they agree with me that the people that cheat and buy cheats for video games are fucking losers, right? But these people that make these cheats, they making millions and millions of dollars. Every time a new game comes out that they think is gonna be popular, they go create cheats for it, and people pay for them. So they out here, and it's a lot of people that would just want to look like they a beast. And people get like same thing. Like people been caught on stream cheating. Like they streaming and don't realize they left a window open or something, or they go to tab out and the cheat is running, and it's like I'll keep talking about it. I'm really about to start streaming and just take over the game, because you don't have to be good at the game to stream. You just got to be interesting, right? It's a talent. It's something that everybody can't do. Everybody wants to. But again, when you don't have any real talent, you have to cheat. That's what AI is for some people. It's like, it's not something to enhance art. It's something because they can't make art, and this is just an easy way to do it. So but it is the future. It's coming. It's coming. Also, Austin, Texas has reached its. This is the 100. This is the, what is this? The 60? No. Is this the 42nd straight day at 100 degrees? Over? Is it?
Something like that.
Austin consecutive
52. Oh no, that was 2022. Let's see.
No. So it was 38 days on the July 25th. And today is August 15th. So goddamn. So from July 25th to now, how many days is that?
20, 21 days.
Yeah, so that puts us at 51 or 52 straight days of 100 degrees or more.
Also hit a string of 10 days in a row of 105 or more, which that is.
Yeah. We cracking. Everything, all the records being broken. So apparently something happened with El Nino, and we had a heat dome at the end of the spring, which dried out the moisture from the dirt, which usually is what protects Austin from having a super hot summer, especially during the El Nino. So, and climate change. So, but all those things, that's the big part. I think next year is going to be even more. It's like, did I just move to hell? Is it just going to be, because it feels like it's never going to not be hot. That's how hot it is. It feels like it just be hot here. You know what I mean? Like it's never going to be not this way. Even the bugs ain't really out there like that. And this is what I hate too, when it's this hot, then the bugs come out at night, and it's just and it's 90 degrees at night. This feels like the last time I've been somewhere where it was 90 degrees at night, I was in Iraq. I was sitting in the desert going, God damn, I can't wait to get back to America. And then here we are, you know?
Well, so how fucking hot is it in Iraq now?
I have no idea. And I hope that I never know. I hope I never have to care. Also, you know, so speaking of it being hot and it driving people crazy, people starting to exhibit weird behaviors. A lot of smash and grabs in Los Angeles right now. This happened while I was in Los Angeles. So apparently these these stores are getting hit and robbed. The last one was a Nordstrom's, I believe. So what's happening now is people are masking up. They're getting together in large groups. I want to say 100 people or more. And they're running into department stores and just running out with everything. Valuables. And of course you got your tough on crime people that, you know, that don't understand that crime is more than one thing. That it's not just an event. There's things that led up to the event. And when you tell them that, they think you're making excuses for the criminals. And it's like, well, and so it just goes in a circle where it's like, hey, maybe, you know, address the housing issue. You know, it's like because they don't see like what, because I think the way that some conservatives need to see it is that these people are just bad people. They're criminals and they're doing criminal activities. That's just they're like the type of person they are is criminal. But in reality, I think most of those people have been recruited by an actual criminal. You know, they're being taken advantage of because they're desperate for food and money and work and all other things. And they get recruited by these people that's going to actually sell these goods somewhere else, you know. It's no different than like you ever have the kids ring your doorbell and go, we trying to raise money for our basketball team. Can you buy this candy bar? It's a scam. But those kids are being used by adults that drive into your neighborhood and drop them off and try to sell you candy, you know. So it's the same kind of thing, but on a bigger scale, you know. Now, I think you're stupid to commit a crime with hundreds of other people. That's you're just asking to go to prison. You know, no, there's no way a couple hundred people are going to keep their shit together. You know, and the other thing too is like there's no way I'm gonna run up in a store with 100 other people and run out with a bunch of valuables and then give them motherfuckers to somebody else, because that's definitely what's happening. You know, yeah. This is a organized thing. This isn't a bunch of fucking teenage kids deciding that they're going to organize and run into this store. You know, it's
for sure. I mean, it's Peter Shamshiri, who is Lawboy Esquire on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck it's called now, hosts a podcast called 5-4 about the Supreme Court, and he talks about like the conservative perspective on law and order is what he calls the good boy, bad boy model, which is just like, look, in society, there's good boys and there's bad boys, and the law exists to punish the bad boys. Right. And I think the question is, you know, you say, well, why are there sometimes more good boys and sometimes there's fewer good boys, or more bad boys or fewer bad boys? And it's like, you have to look at the context of the social fabric around them.
But I mean, also that's just a childish way of looking at the human condition.
It's ridiculous.
Everyone's a bad boy and a good boy. You know, it's just your circumstances dictate what gets expressed, and so you have to take responsibility for creating circumstances. You know what I mean? Is like because it's almost like you going. It's like, listen, you're not a cannibal. You know, most of us would say that we aren't cannibals, but if I drop you in, you know, if I drop your ass in the middle of a mountain range, you know, and it's been 2 weeks since you had something to eat, one of y'all getting ate. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Yeah. So it's like, it's weird for people to act like, oh, there's just good guys and bad guys, and that's all there is to it. And if you do a bad thing, you're a bad guy. And then when they do a bad thing, they go, well, that doesn't count. You know. So I don't believe it. I don't. Here we are again. I just don't believe in humans. I think it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. And it's going to be the same things that happen this year are going to happen next year, except it's going to be 120 degrees. Because can you imagine? Can you imagine when we actually have to start getting used to that 120 degrees? Because that's coming. I hope it happens. I hope it happens right the day before I die. I want to be the one. I want to be the one. You know, in my old person bed with the AC blasting, and I want my air conditioning to put the last bit of greenhouse, like the tipping, the last straw shit. What do you call that? The tipping point. I want the greenhouse gas that comes out of my air conditioning to be the one that pushes us over the edge, with like to cause that uncontrollable chain reaction where we just, you know, like I want it to be, you know, I want things to be just super hot and concerning, and then the day after I die, I want it to be fucking Venus. You know what I mean? Just the surface is uninhabitable. Yeah, because I think that's where we're headed. The
atmosphere lights on fire.
Oh yeah. You have to quit smoking. You can't smoke out here. Okay, wait, but we have an email.
Yeah, let's.
Well, you got a point. You got a point to make, Rob?
Well, I wanted to bring up one of these articles that I dropped in the Trello. We have this article from MDPI, which is an open access journal. It says the human ecology of Overshoot: why a major population correction is inevitable, and it is directly on point to what you were just saying.
Where you see that? Where is that? Rob, this is a whole fucking scientific paper. You about to read this whole thing?
No, it's just the abstract. Basically, we're all dead, is what it said. Population increased from 1 to 8 billion, and a greater than 100-fold expansion in just 2 centuries on a finite planet has thus propelled modern techno-industrial society into a state of advanced overshoot.
Yeah, but what is the point of what they're saying? They're saying that we're about to
that we're going to that we are on the front end. We are on the front end of a one-off boom bust cycle. That the global economy will inevitably contract and humanity will suffer the largest population correction in its history. Basically, that we will not
because of economics.
Well, they think that the climate collapse will cause an economic collapse, which will cause a population collapse, and that we won't bounce back from it, as opposed to in the past, humanity has gone through boom bust cycles of expansion and contraction throughout the world.
Well,
I'm just saying there's some scientific backing. Oh, really?
No. Yeah, I disagree. I think we always find a way to just be worse. You know, because I mean, maybe there'll be, because and honestly, I think if it's going to be something like that, it's going to be a virus. Because if you think about what just happened, the pandemic has primed people. The pandemic and the reaction to it has primed people to not trust science, not trust the medical industry. You know, a lot of people didn't get vaccinated or anything like that. And so when the next thing comes along and it's even deadlier than COVID, like when something come along that's seriously like wiping shit out, we ain't gonna do nothing about it. You know? And it's like that's what's gonna come. And here's the other thing too. We haven't done anything different now. We're not prepared for another pandemic. Yeah, I know this. Our politicians are just like, what are the chances it's going you know, it was 100 years since the last one. What's the chances of it happening anytime soon? So they're not even focused on it.
Some people don't even believe it happened. Some people don't even believe that COVID happened.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I don't have an iota of energy to argue with those people. Believe what you want to believe. But I'll say this. Your standard for belief is what's important. Like how do you decide what to believe and what not to believe? You really have to ask yourself that question, you know, to see whether your beliefs are bullshit or not. And the ability to be that discerning is just lost on most people. I don't have the energy. That's why I don't argue with people online. You know what I started doing? I just compliment them. You know, if I even pay attention, like somebody will try to insult me in a comment or even in the DM or something like that. And sometimes I'll be this close. I'll write out a whole, thing, and I done gone on your page and see and looked at your family and who they follow and I got a whole thing typed out, and then I realized, oh, that's a lot of energy you just put into that. To this person that just want attention, and so I just go, hey, peace and blessings, There's no if I say anything at all. Most people I just ignore them.
That's probably the best.
Yeah. I read them though. I still read some of the comments. I don't have time to read them all. I damn sure don't have time to respond to them all. But it's wild how the people you feel the need to respond to are the ones that say negative things. You don't feel compelled to say thank you to every person that says something nice, but you feel compelled to say something nasty back to people that said something mean to you. And it's like those people just hate themselves. You know what I mean?
Going to Rob's point, aren't millennials having less kids? You know what I mean? And millennials like the biggest generation since the boomers.
I don't think so.
They're just having them later.
Yeah, they're having kids later.
From what I understand.
And they're definitely having worse kids. You know what I mean? The kids are worse people nowadays, because they don't. I think a lot of the kids lack fortitude. They, or at least they think they do. Their ability to work through, to push through adversity, is lacking, I think. A lot of them don't have no fight in them beyond posting about stuff.
Talking about Gen Z?
Yeah. Those are the millennials kids, right?
That's Gen X kids.
But fucking fight for what? Push through for what?
For all the things they're crying about,
But to what end? You're not gonna they're not gonna fix it. So
right. Exactly. So what you going? So what's your option? If there's nothing you can do about it, you got to live your life still. You got to move on or kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to be dangerous. It's like because that's what I'm saying. It's like people are willing to go online and go. You see people do it all the time, right? I just did it. I'm complaining about a company on my platform. And maybe somebody at Samsung will see that and be like, let's get right to it. And maybe they won't. But I'm not, I don't need to make a video tomorrow and the next day and get a petition and all this other stuff, because they're not going to do anything. And unless it's so serious that I'm willing to go down there and blow up a Samsung store, then I got to let it go. My options are return this tablet, keep my old one, write an email to customer service, switch everything to Apple, or kidnap a Samsung exec and his family. You know what I mean? So it's like most of these kids, they're not willing to bleed for what they believe in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've said this in the past, and I think I agree with it more now than I did when you first said this to me. But it's basically money is power in a capitalist system. You have to make enough money where you don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. Like, you can just be like, oh, whatever, I'll just go buy another fucking $5,000. I'll pay $5,000 and make the switch to Apple. And then I'll do that until it breaks. And then you just have to figure out a way to make that kind of money in such a way that you can look yourself in the fucking face the next morning.
Yeah. You got to make enough money that you can live with. Yeah. Or you could Jeff Bezos it and just be like, man, I don't give a fuck what's happening on the other side of this check. Did the wire clear?
Well, that's what I mean. That's his evolutionary adaptation, right? Is that he's just a fucking lizard.
He doesn't care, bro. Yeah,
does not
he
give
don't
a
care.
shit.
That's why people was like, we're friends. I'm like, that nigga ain't your friend. That's crazy. That's crazy that you think you can be friends with Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos. They're not built like that. To them, you're a tool. that can get them more money or less money. That's how they look at everybody. You're an asset or a liability. They look at every single person in their life that way. You know? I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, because here's the thing. I don't know any billionaires. I've never even been in a room with a billionaire. You know? But so all of this is just speculation and psychological evaluation, and I don't have a degree in psychology. But it's the only way I can explain somebody being comfortable with. I'll put it to you like this: name somebody that got billions of dollars, and then you trace, and their company or their organization isn't responsible for some major net negative. There aren't. Zuckerberg invented or at least redefined social media. It's ruined the way people communicate with each other. It's probably gonna be looked back on as like the downfall of this current shit, right? Jeff Bezos, obviously, there's poverty and slavery. Same thing with Apple at the other end of everything, So it's like you can't accrue that kind of money without there being suffering as a result, and you have to not care about that. It has to not bother you. And I guess in a way we're all that to some degree. I'm gonna go buy the next thing. I'm gonna buy the next phone, and I don't know exactly who's suffering because of it, but I kind of know that someone is.
What about Mark Cuban?
What about him?
Well, he's a billionaire. Who suffered under him?
I don't know nothing about him. What is he rich from?
Some software that he sold.
That's not specific enough. Let's see here. How did Mark Cuban make his money?
He sold a video portal called broadcast.com to Yahoo in the 90s for like $6 billion or $7 billion or something.
For $6 or $7 billion?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yahoo. Okay. And what else has he done since then?
Bought the Dallas Mavericks, Shark Tank.
I will say his company that does, I forget the name of it, that does the it's not GoodRx, but it's kind of like that. It's like they do low-cost prescription medications. Like that's probably on balance a good company, I would say. But
yeah, that's not bad.
But we're talking about,
How much is Mark Cuban worth? $5.1 billion. Okay, that's getting into the billionaire. He's in the front door. And maybe you can get that kind of money without. But I have no idea. I have no idea what he pays people, what he's underpaid people, if he's stolen things from people. But it's very hard to acquire that much money unless you fucking somebody over. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know nothing about the guy. But next time I see you, I'm gonna. It's in there. The darkness is in there. But I do know people that know him. I know people that know Mark Cuban, or at least I've known people that knew him, and his reputation is that he's a good guy.
I met him one time.
Yeah, was he decent?
He was a very, very nice guy. But I didn't. I didn't
ought to be.
Yeah, I didn't have a deep conversation with the man.
If you have $5 billion, you shouldn't be mean to nobody.
Yeah.
That's the other side of it too. It's like, and here's the other honest to God truth. I've never heard of Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or any of those being like directly mean to nobody. Elon Musk is the only person I've seen be mean. He's the only billionaire I've seen be mean to somebody in public, like publicly.
Right.
But usually it's like what you that should be a rule. If you're worth $1 billion. Any U.S. citizen should be able to smack the shit out you if you disrespectful at all. Because society is propping you up to help you live this luxurious lifestyle. You don't have the right to be mean to no fucking body. Nobody, unless you're paying them. You don't got the right to be mean to nobody that don't work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Move the fuck out the way. Because here's the other side of it is like, we're also down and ready to worship one of these motherfuckers that we will literally, A struggling business, like a struggling restaurant, will give Mark Cuban a free meal. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They'll give Mark Cuban a free meal and won't give them and will give their employees 50% off. You know what I'm saying? Or 10% off. It's like I'm over the fucking the rich people worship. But I would like to know. I would like to know how whether Mark Cuban has done any evil shit. It seems like he's trying to mitigate that by doing ethical things. But we'll see. I'm 40. So we have an email. Right, this is the last thing we're gonna do. Oh wait a minute. We have a voicemail from Tony's wife.
Yes.
We'll do that on the next episode.
Yeah, we'll do that on the next episode.
Really enjoy the show. Oh, so email from Matt. Really enjoy the show. I'm 46 out of Cleveland as a touring comic, and you get to see the world. How much have you noticed the decline of the Midwest/Rust Belt? If you drive down one of the main streets that connects the suburbs to the inner city, it's depressing. No jobs, no people. Am I crazy? But is this happening all over? Places where blue-collar workers flourished and are now wastelands. Have a great day and keep at it. If you already were here this year and I missed you, my bad. Definitely will catch you next time you come through. From Cleveland. Actually, I haven't been to Cleveland since, man, it's been a while. It's been a couple years since I've been to Cleveland. Yeah, but I don't drive to the suburbs when I'm in a major city. So, but yeah, it seems like everywhere is kind of the same. Where to me now, with some exceptions, like with the exception of like the crown jewel cities, like like Austin, Montreal, Los Angeles, New York. Most major cities to me look like what I said when I went to Detroit. Detroit, to me, the first thing I thought when I got to Detroit was, I'm like, it looks like someone tried to build a replica of New York City and ran out of money. And that's how a lot of major cities seem to me. Like there's someone wanted to do something here and then changed their mind. And so, what's happening is there are like hubs of luxury and excess being built near poverty, which I guess is always the way it's always been. It's just that where the poor areas are and when the nice areas are have changed up. I was talking to my mama last night, and it's like a lot of the places in DC, when I grew up, it was a lot of places in DC like you just couldn't go. It was a lot of projects that you just shouldn't be around unless you lived it. And now those places are like luxury, like they've torn them down, and now they're like luxury apartments and shit. Luxury condos, so where the money is changes, but the thing is, there's always going to be, you can't have a rich area that is not close to a poor area. That's why all these motherfuckers in Hollywood, they get money, they move to Beverly Hills, and they don't realize that's right next to the hood. That's why a lot of people get robbed and killed over in Beverly Hills, because that's where the money is. You right next, and the reason why the poverty has to be nearby is because who's going to do all of the poor people work? You know what I mean? You go get a mansion. Now you need servants, you need cooks, you need maids, you need groundskeepers. Where they gonna live at? You don't want them to live 2 hours away, right? So it's gonna always be something like 15, 20 minutes away where all the poor people are. Because you don't pay them enough to clean your house, so you can't have. You need workers, so you can't have excess. You can't have luxury without people that work for you. And if you pay those people too much, actually that might be a good thing. But I don't know. I can't sit here and pretend like I have the solution to poverty. I feel like it's kind of a feature of our system. It's as long as we're a capitalist society, poverty is going to exist because it's just the byproduct of hoarding money. It's just because that's what capitalism is. The goal is for you to hoard as much money as you possibly can and to extract it in as many ways as you possibly can. And as long as something is making money, it's mostly seen as morally acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. Because how many times have we seen something that was completely horrible and it's justified by, hey man, you got to make $1, or it's just business, or whatever. Yeah. That's why you don't go to prison for money crimes unless you're stealing from other rich people. I mean, if you're a rich person. You know, very rarely do you see somebody actually pay the price for anything like that. Yeah. You can rob. You can poison and rob 40 people. And you'll go to prison. You know what I mean? But if you poison or rob 1,000 people, that's just business. You know,
right?
The stuff they're doing with the housing market. You know, these big companies like buying up all the housing and then inflating the market and all this other shit while we're in the middle of a housing crisis. Like, that's not illegal. That's just business. It's just good business. You know, and even though it is leading to the downfall of society and the homeless problem is going up and now people are running into stores and mobs and smash and grabs, old school shit. And pretty soon, it's not going to be Nordstrom's. It's going to be McDonald's. People going to be like, all right, 40 of us get together. Everybody grab as much food and grease as you can carry out this motherfucker. Yeah. We throwing Big Mac barbecues for the whole month. Yeah. So who knows?
Did you ever hear that story about? I don't know how accurate this hypothesis is, but that the big blackout that happened in New York City in the 80s was what directly led to the explosion of hip-hop, because during the blackout, people looted all of the electronics and instrument stores. And it basically transferred all of this super expensive high-tech equipment into the black community, yeah.
I like that. I just saw something recently that I saw a flyer that had like Jay-Z and Fat Joe on it that was saying something about a blackout, and I meant to look into it, but I did not know that. And we actually overlooked it. We just recently had the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I don't know how you celebrate such a thing other than just listening to music, which I do anyway. So,
what is it the 50th anniversary of? Is it a particular
event?
Or
I don't know. I didn't look into it at all, and
I guess it'd be 73.
But it's probably a DJ'd party or something. But yeah, because I also had the same question. What makes it today? You know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't today. It was like 4 days ago. But I have no idea what actual event happened where they like that was the beginning of hip hop. That exact moment. You know. I mean, I think we all know it was started in the Bronx.
Says the birthplace of hip-hop was a rec room at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, where on August 11th, 1973, DJ Kool Herc and his sister, Cindy Campbell, threw a party and spun some records. Okay. I mean, you gotta point to something, I guess.
Yeah, somebody threw a party.
Somebody threw a party.
Well, of course it started with a party, but then... Yeah, but what is it now? Ugh. You know, does it have to?
I think now they did another block party. Says hip hop legend KRS-One headlined a block party on Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx to mark the 50th anniversary of hip hop. It's a nice little bookend.
Yeah, you gotta love KRS-One.